Hi, everyone. My name is Veronica Ciangella Moses, and this is my story. I was born and raised a church girl, grew up with my sister and my parents, and I was taught that you don't have a baby out of wedlock. When you're married with someone, then you have a child. At the age of 13, I was molested by someone at the church who I trusted, which then caused me to have issues with trusting people, especially men. To fast forward, I met my daughter's father at the age of 18 at my high school. Age of 20, I got pregnant, and it was a very big ordeal in my family. It was a big ordeal in my church. I was sat down and I wasn't able to sing or do anything. But my pastor at the time was a very kind man, and he didn't really make me feel bad. He just told me what I needed to do, and as far as when I was able to come back and sing in the choir or to do praise and worship. July 29th, 2008 has to be the worst year of my life. I'm homesick, pregnant, 2.5 months pregnant with my child, talking to her father, just seeing how his day is. He's checking on me to see if I'm okay. I get a phone call at 2:30 p.m. saying that he was dead. He was struck and killed by a train. Me not believing that and thinking everything was just a joke and it's just people being disrespectful, I'm calling his family, telling them, hey, somebody told me that this happened. Something's not right. I just got off the phone with him, so I'm not understanding what's happening. I get a call from his mom to come over to the house. I get to the house, and on my way there, I'm in the car with my sister and my mother. I am screaming frantically. It's not true. It's not true. He's not dead. I just talked to him. Get to his mother's house. And when I get to her house, she falls into my arms. She tells me my son is dead. My son is gone. And that is when I realized that Brendan was no longer here. It ripped me apart from the inside out. He was struck by a train just trying to cross to go to the other side of town. And I was never going to see him again. And how am I going to tell our unborn child that, your father died of a freak accident? You're never going to be able to meet him. Throughout my pregnancy, it was very, very difficult. I wasn't eating. I was depressed. I was crying all the time. I had people checking on me, pretty much force feeding me to eat because I was losing so much weight. I gave birth to my daughter. Her name is Brandy Denise Renee Cohens on February 13th, 2009. In the midst of me being stressed with my pregnancy because her father had deceased, the doctors were telling me that there were going to be issues with Brandy. She wasn't going to be able to hear. She wasn't going to be able to swallow. She was going to have difficulty eating. But thanks be unto God, she is absolutely perfect. There's nothing wrong with her at all. So now I am 21 years old, raising a child by myself. While raising her, I never got to grieve properly. I never got to sit and realize, okay, this is life now. I have to do this by myself. Granted, I have the help of his family and my family, but I can't do this by myself without him with me. So depression set and hit me really, really hard because I didn't get to grieve it properly and I didn't quite understand. Growing up as a Christian, I just was thinking, okay, everything's going to work out. But I questioned God and I asked him, why are you putting me through this? I've done nothing wrong. I'm at church every Sunday. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Why is this happening to me? I'm such a nice person. I don't deserve this. And I completely turned my ear off to God. I stopped going to church as often as I did. I was in the club every weekend, purposely getting drunk because I was trying to fill a void that I couldn't fill by myself. I couldn't fill it through talking to anyone. I wasn't able to have conversations with people about this situation without a lump feeling like it was in my throat and me crying hysterically. So some people would know that I was going to the club all the time, but wouldn't ask me or wouldn't even say, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you always out? When, like I said, the purpose is I was purposely getting drunk to try to fill a void because I was so hurt and I was so just angry and upset. Fast forward, I started dating, was dating someone who I thought was good for me, but I now realize that I wasn't ready to date at the time. The person was abusive, was mentally, emotionally, and physically got abusive with me, was choking me all the time, and I just did not feel like I was worth being loved. I was worth anybody caring for me. Depression set in even more. I used to purposely leave my daughter at home with my mom so that I can drive my car off the road because I just didn't feel like that there was no purpose of me living. Everything that's happening to me, there's no good thing that's happening to me. Why are people leaving me? Why am I being mistreated? Why do I feel like I'm worthless? So I just didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want to do anything. I was barely holding on by threads to try to take care of my daughter. So then I get back into church, still ear turned off because I'm just so angry and just being honest, very disgusted with God. Like, I just don't understand. Like, you have people in this world that are miserable and aren't doing good things. But here I am just trying to make it. And now I have to raise a child by myself, which is not fair. It was very hard to tell Brandy about her father's death. She kept asking for her father, and I couldn't explain to her because I couldn't find the words. At the age of 5, I told her what happened. And of course, she's 5. She doesn't really understand. But her thing is, I want my daddy. I want a dad. I want someone who I can call a dad. And it hurt for her. It hurt me more so for growing up with her and her being around her friends and seeing that they have their father and she doesn't have her dad. And that it wasn't fair. I didn't feel like it was fair because she was a child. She didn't deserve any of this. All she wanted to do was just have a mother and a father, and she didn't have either. So dealing with depression is very hard. It's something that I don't like to talk about because oftentimes in the Black culture, it is a stigma as though you're weak. Something's wrong, just brush it off, you'll be fine. I started doing therapy because I knew something wasn't right. I wasn't myself. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. And I was barely taking care of my child like I know I should have. So therapy started and it helped because I was able to get things off my chest. I was able to realize some triggers and things that really bothered me. And I just didn't really get to grieve properly, which is one reason why I was so depressed. I'm at a stage now in my life. I'm 35, but realizing this happened, and it's gonna sound kind of mean, but this happened. But I have to get over it. I have to move on with life. I have to face reality and just realize this is the new norm for me. I'm gonna have to raise a child by myself until God sees fit to send a husband to me. So now I'm learning as I'm going. I'm not a perfect parent. I'm just trying to do the best that I can for my daughter while trying to hold my head on straight and not trying to drown in this thing called life. I still deal with depression. I still have anxiety because her father's death was a very traumatic thing for me and something that has really, really shaken my world. So I'm trying my best to be, I don't want to say the best mother because I feel like there's such thing as a perfect parent, but just try to be a mom that's there for my child and just want to be able to let people know that it is okay to not be okay. If you're grieving with someone that you've lost who is a parent, please take the time out to grieve. Don't try to jump in and be like, okay, I'm fine. I got to be a parent. That's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're selfish if you think about yourself first. Because if you're not good to you, you're not going to be any good to your child. So please reach out to those that do need help or reach out to someone that can help you because we all need someone to talk to. We all need that type of care. We all just need to be kind and much, much better to ourselves. I hope this helps, and I just hope everyone understands. I know people tell me that, oh, I'm so strong, but truth is, I am very tired of being strong. I want my moments where I can just cry and just let everything out and just be like, I'm not okay without making it feel as though I'm weak. So I hope you take my story as some type of strength, some type of encouragement, but also realizing that I am a person and that this is real life. Everyone be blessed and stay tuned for more things in regards to Mommy Moments.